everyone. Today I am talking about the best and worst sleep positions for back pain. So there's a lot to cover and I'm going to try to go over it in about a 5-minute video here, but I always welcome questions, so please let me know if you have any specific questions that pertain to you, because all of our bodies are a little bit different and I'm giving out general information here. So best and worst sleep positions for back pain. I'm going to go with the worst first. Let's just get that out of the way. The absolute worst position to sleep in for your back is on your stomach. So if I'm on my stomach, I'm just kind of plop myself here. So what happens when you're on your stomach is you're narrowing in your back here. You're creating tension in your back that will stay there all night, and it's creating this kind of a curve. So if we were to look at the spine sitting up, so now we're vertical. Horizontal, you want the same thing. You don't want your back to be like this when you're standing, just like you don't want your back to be like that when you're sleeping. And when you're lying on your belly, it pushes your belly forward, arches your back so you end up like this. You don't want to be in that position all night. It will just tighten the muscles there and keep you in that place so that when you wake up in the morning, you've been arched all night long. You don't want that. So, does it mean never ever sleep on your back? Try to avoid it. It's really not the best thing for your back. If you end up there for, if you're an active sleeper and you end up there for an hour or so a night, it's not the worst thing ever. But if you're working on sleep positions to help your back, just try to avoid sleeping on your stomach. So, stomach sleeping. Okay, so next time we're going to talk about back sleeping and side sleeping. So the absolute best place for your body is to lie on your back with some support underneath your knees. It doesn't mean we can all do that. It doesn't mean everyone's going to be a back sleeper, but I'm telling you the best place to be is this. So I can't sleep here all the time. I start here in the night and then I end up turning, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. What if you're an active sleeper and you move around a lot? So lying on your back. First, the pillow. When you're on your back, you want a pillow that you can sink into a little bit, that isn't too firm. So here I have a kind of a typical down pillow. These aren't specific branded pillows. I haven't found one brand that is the holy grail of all pillows. I'm still eager to try out some more. But right now, I'm working with a down pillow that has a little bit of a smush to it and a memory foam pillow that's firmer. So you want a pillow that you can sink into a little bit or that isn't too firm when you're on your back. Because when you're lying on your back, everyone has a little bit of a cervical curve. We want a cervical curve. So here, because I have a pretty lengthened spine, I have a small curve here. If you're someone who is here, if this is your typical posture and you haven't yet worked on changing your posture, shifting it, because that's a whole other thing that's a big part of what I do, is all about shifting your posture. But I'm not getting into that in this video. So if you have a little cervical curve here, it'll be different than if you're generally like this. First, I'll address if you're like this. There's just a little bit of space between my head and the rest of my spine. You don't want a pillow that's going to push your head forward. So you want something you can really sink into that's not too firm. So something under your knees. There's many things you can put under your knees. This is like a little bolster made for that. You don't need this. You can use a pillow. You can use cushions. You can use a yoga bolster, anything. But this is a typical idea. You want your head down, legs over a bolster, your knees. It's right underneath your knees. That supports your lower back. If you don't have something, and here, now I'll just grab the pillow, which is often what I use. If you don't have anything under your back, your legs will pull your spine so that you have a little bit of a lift here. This, just like when you sleep on your stomach, it puts tension on the lower back. It lifts you up. You don't want that. You want to have your lower back nicely melting down into the bed. That'll be optimal support. So here, same thing as before. I just use this kind of a bigger pillow, put it under my knees, and my back is really happy now. Okay, so side sleeping. So when you're on your side, you want a pillow that is firmer. Why? Because you want your spine to stay in line while you're on your side. You want your head to stay in line with the rest of your spine. When you're on your side, if you lie down on a pillow that has a lot of smushiness, this is what happens. I lie on my side and my head goes down. See how my head is going down? It's not in line with my spine. There's too much smush here. I can just plop it all the way down. You don't want that. You need something that is going to fit between your shoulder and your ear. That's why you want something a little more firm that'll fit in there. Everyone will have a slightly different amount of space there. Some people are narrower here, some people are wider. So that's why I don't think there's a perfect pillow. You may have to try a few different pillows until you figure out what works for your body. But in general, you want something to fill in that space. So the firmer pillow will do that. So now my neck and my head are more in line with the rest of my spine. I'm not pushing it all the way down. It's not too high up that I'm here, because you don't want one that's too high either. You want something that's kind of nicely in the middle. So you find the pillow that works for you, firmer pillow for your side, and the most effective way to sleep without any back pain is to also get something between your knees when you're on your side. So when you have something between your knees, whatever it is, just grab another pillow. You keep a nice alignment through your hips. Without the pillow, it's very easy for this leg to fall forward. It pulls the hip forward, the sacral, your sacroiliac joint, so your sacrum, your SI joint pulls, and it can get a little twisted. See how my hip is falling forward? You're not gonna stay like this all night, and even if you do, this is a little bit better because it keeps your legs right in alignment with where they come out of the hip sockets. So something between your knees and a firm pillow under your head. This arm can be wherever it feels most comfortable for you. That's an individual choice depending on how your shoulder feels. This arm, so with this arm, there are times where I will have a long pillow, I put my arm up here, or I'll put a separate pillow here just to have my arm lay on something, because it does feel nice. It feels better for my shoulder if I have this arm on something. Some people it won't bother, but I don't like when my shoulder falls all the way forward, because during the night, it just, for me, inevitably, it's gonna just sink forward. So it is nice to have something here as well. It's just another way you can add in to your little sleep routine to have more support. So the last thing I want to talk about is, what if you're an active sleeper? What if you're rolling from your side to your back and you're all over the place? Do you change pillows in the middle of the night when you're half asleep? So for people that know that they are going to go from side to back and back again, this is what I recommend. And this is what I will often do. So I'll take the pillow made for my back, because I'll try to start on my back. Okay, so lie down, pillow made for my back. Here I am, middle of the night. I inevitably roll to my side because that's where my body likes to be. So if I roll to my side, half asleep, I'll kind of grab this pillow, put it between my knees, but now my head is too low. So what I will do, it's like little sleep hacks here, I will fold over the pillow until I get it in a spot that feels good for my neck. So that feels better. If I didn't, I'd be down here, and that's gonna create some tension in there. So I just fold it over, and I can do this half asleep. You just get used to doing it. You fold it, you smush it around until you get it to a height that feels good. So now I can go between side and then back. You just flip it over, and you just get used to doing that in the middle of the night. So that's my little tutorial about best and worst ways to sleep for back pain. I do want to answer individual questions, so feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, everybody is a little bit different. No pillow is perfect, but there is a general theme here. Firmer pillow for sleeping on your side, smushier pillow that you can go towards the bed a little bit more for sleeping on your back. Try not to sleep on your stomach. And you can be an active sleeper and go back and forth and still make it work for you. There is always a way to make it work. You just have to get a little creative, and then once you get used to it, you can be half asleep and move your pillow, smush it under you. You can make all these adjustments once you get used to just this way of sleeping. And because your body will feel a lot better doing this, it'll come pretty quickly where you go, okay, this is how I sleep. I've got my pillows. You get your little setup routine, get it ready before you're exhausted and you plop into bed. You got your bed set up, get in, tuck everything in. It'll take 30 seconds to just get everything all set up around you so that you can have a peaceful night of sleep. So stay tuned for my other videos. Let me know if you have any questions. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, my website, thegracefulbody.com, and I will see you soon.